Continuing our AFC West mock draft series with the Los Angeles Chargers, who finished with an 11-6 record this year, lost in the wild card round to the Houston Texans, and now picking number 22 overall in the 2025 NFL Draft. Max Chadwick alongside Dalton Wasserman here doing the three-round mock draft for the Chargers using the PFF Mock Draft Simulator, which you can find at subscribe.pff.com. You can draft for the Chargers, your favorite team, or all 32 NFL teams. You can do a one-round mock draft, a three-round mock like we're about to do, or a full seven-round mock draft if you're a true sicko as well. And you can trade players and picks using that PFF Mock Draft Simulator. Again, it's available at subscribe.pff.com today. All right, number 22 overall, Los Angeles Chargers. We are not doing any trades in this mock draft, so we're going to skip over that portion, even though it is available to you guys if you so choose. At number 22 overall, Dalton, who stands out to you here? If I have an idea here, and if he's here, if you scroll down a little more, because I think Trevor's a little bit lower on him. There he is, right there, Colson Loveland. That could be hot with Jim Harbaugh reuniting there.
It could be hot. There are actually more options than for the Chargers here than I think a lot of others. I think there's a lot of teams that have one or two obvious needs, and it sounds funny for the Chargers, but I think running back is definitely up there. I think a receiver on the outside, a separator like Matthew Golden, could really help them a lot. I think an edge player. I think Khalil Mack is not retiring, but it seems like he's going to come back and play, and the Chargers are going to try hard to re-sign him. I don't think Joey Bosa is going to be back next year, and his play has really declined. He's got a huge cap hit, and I think he could be a cut candidate. So could be some help off the edge. Maybe Jack Sawyer.
I was just going to say.
I don't know if Jack Sawyer would be willing at all to play for Jim Harbaugh, but that's a spot. If he is willing to put their differences aside, Jack Sawyer could help them out a lot, and you get a three-man rotation of Mack and Tuli Pelotu and Jack Sawyer, and Tuli and Jack can be kind of the future there once Mack retires or eventually declines. I don't know when the hell that'll be, but I think there's a boatload of options here. Loveland's another good one, especially with the familiarity from Michigan. He's a great player, so it depends on which what we want to improve, but we got options.
I do like the idea of Jack Sawyer. That's a really good call out by you. The Loveland one I was just looking at because not only obviously the Michigan connection between Harbaugh and Loveland was phenomenal when he was playing for Harbaugh, but also Jim Harbaugh, and this kind of factors into it, Jim Harbaugh loves tight ends. Like, he uses tight ends so much in his offense. As you go back to his days at Stanford, I think when Colby Parkinson was there.
Kobe Fleener.
Kobe Fleener, yes. Yeah.
Kobe Fleener, yep.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got Vernon Davis back in the time in San Francisco. I mean, he loves using tight ends, obviously now with Colson Loveland in Michigan. He doesn't really have one in Los Angeles right now. So I think he would love to get a guy like that for Justin Herbert and his offense. So he stands out to me, but I do love the Jack Sawyer call out as well, because I do think I think right now he's gonna be edge 3 for me. NFL draft.
I don't think there's a lot of wrong answers here. They have multiple needs, and we're gonna attempt to fill them with these handful of picks that we have here. It depends on what we think, because they also emphasize defense, and they got a lot better on the defensive line this year, but they do have a lot of free agents on the D-line, so they have to keep kind of cycling through that. And again, I think even a Matthew Golden at receiver makes sense. Quentin Johnston really hasn't panned out the first 2 years. It's especially in their playoff game you saw. They had either one. It's the theme here with the offensive weapons. They have Ladd McConkey, and they don't have a whole lot else.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the fit. If we think it's Loveland, if we think it's Golden, or if we want to go defense and wait on weapons, I could be amenable, honestly, to any of it, because they have needs at all three spots.
I think you mentioned this before in our mock draft for who did we just do before this?
Denver.
Right? Yeah, Denver. How you were saying, I think the tight end class is a steep drop off. I think Matthew Golden. I think the top 4 receivers are pretty obvious to me in this draft. In McMillan, Hunter, Burden, Igbuka. Then there's a drop-off. I would put Matthew Golden in with a lot of the other guys. I don't think that he's clearly wide receiver 5 in this draft. There's a lot of guys fighting for him for that.
I have him there, but I think you're right. It's pretty good cut after those first 4. And if this is another spot, too, if Emeka Egbuka was on the board, you see him go at 16 right there, that's one
That's your Keenan Allen replacement right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
but he's not here. So I personally, you can make the decision here. I'm between Sawyer and Colson Loveland.
The two things we can say are receiver is deeper than tight end, and edge is deeper than tight end. I think there's some second-round edge players we could look at. Consider it's kind of the same thing we did for Denver, so it's going to look funny, but I think in either scenario, if Denver were to pass up Loveland, I think the Chargers would be next in line to take him. So I'm not against it, and for the sake of doing that, we have deeper position groups at the other two. I could go with that.
All right, Colston Loveland it is for the Los Angeles Chargers. Next up in the
maybe they'll be fighting each other for him, trying to trade up.
I think they could.
The Chargers trading up to get either him or Tyler Warren. I think it's going to be a big fight for that.
They absolutely could. I do love Jaden Higgins. That is a guy I am a big fan of in this draft, but there's some other guys, some other edge defenders here that are pretty intriguing. Jared Ivey, obviously available. Jalen Walker was available at the top. I don't think it's realistic he's going to be here either, so I don't think we should take him.
I'll tell you what. I think I like your Jaden Higgins idea here. You talk about reliable.
Yeah.
He's got size. He's a solid route runner at his size. He can catch contested balls. He's got great hands, which I know has been a point of contention in LA with some of the other receivers. I think Higgins could give them that kind of size and possession element that Quentin Johnston hasn't given him his first 2 years. I think this would be a great fit and a great complement to what they have in Ladd McConkey already. And now, I mean, we're just stacking up weapons here, but if you're looking at a core of weapons where you've got McConkey, Higgins, Loveland, even Johnston as an occasional vertical playmaker when he can get himself open, now you're looking like you're pretty stacked. The other spot maybe here or in the next round is going to be, I would like to see this team add some speed at running back.
Yeah, that could be one too. I'm for it. I have Higgins currently. I'm not done with receivers yet, but I have Higgins wide receiver 7 in this draft right now. And like I mentioned before, I would put him in that grouping with Matthew Golden, Alec Ayematter, and Jaden Higgins, like at the next tier of receivers. I think Matthew Golden is very close to Higgins on my board right now. So I think it worked out for us that we waited on receiver and still got a guy that, in at least my opinion, is comparable to Matthew Golden. And we got Colston Loveland out of it too. So I'm down for Jaden Higgins if you want to do it.
I'm in on it.
All right, Jaden Higgins it is for the Los Angeles Chargers. Final pick here, number 86 overall in the draft. Still have not taken an edge defender like we mentioned before.
That might be the first group I look at here. Let's see. Q Robinson from Alabama is an option. An RJ Harvey would be fun. Ashton Gelati would be fun. I feel like Jim Harbaugh would like
love
Ashton
Gelati.
He's so versatile, and he's a guy you can move inside, outside on passing downs. DJ Giddens, if we're going running back too, is a very good player. Tyler Barron would be solid, although I'd probably still take Gelati over him. I really like Gelati's athleticism and versatility. That might be a spot that I go, because even on pass rush downs, you could even move Gelati inside, and you still have all those other options. If you still have Mack and Tooley on the outside, or they sign another edge player, I think Gelati, the fact that he's so movable and he can play early downs as well, he's a really good run defender. This might be somebody that Jim likes just to take as someone with versatility. And again, I think he's going to go to the combine and blow away. He could even go sooner than this, but in this spot, that's a guy I would really think about.
I'm totally down for it. I do love Ashton Gelati. This power he has in his frame is unbelievable, and obviously, like you mentioned, he's a better athlete than he's given credit for as well. Really good run defender, really good pass rusher. I think Jim Harbaugh would love that. And of course, Jim Harbaugh, you're not going to get on the field unless you can defend the run for Jim Harbaugh. So that's the guy that I think you would absolutely love to have in this defense. So yeah, I'm down for it. Ashton Gelati to round out this 3-round mock draft for the Los Angeles Chargers. To recap what we did, we took Colston Loveland in the first round, reuniting him with Jim Harbaugh's former college coach, Jaden Higgins. In the second round, the wide receiver from Iowa State. And then the third round, edge defender from Louisville, and Ashton Gelati. So let us know in the comments below what you thought about this 3-round mock for the Los Angeles Chargers. And of course, check out the PFF Mock Draft Simulator today to do your own mock draft for your favorite team or all 32 NFL teams as well. And stay tuned for our final 3-round mock draft coming out very soon in our series for every single division. For Dalton Wasserman, I'm Max Chadwick, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.